Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
You're knowing what you're wanting?
Yes.
Really? It moves about a bit, doesn't it? You are appreciating the contrast of your time and place? Oh, especially that. Well, once you figure out that you are the creator of your own reality, and that your reality is created by your focus or attention, and that you have guidance within you to help you to focus that attention, to just sort of feel your way to the best feeling focus, then you do appreciate the variety that surrounds you, because it is always that variety that helps you to decide. And isn't a decision focus? Here's the answer to what you're looking for. And we haven't spoken it in this day. And so let's introduce it here because it matters. You get it that everything's about energy. And we haven't spoken the specifics of this today, but we're going to do it right now. Everything that happens to you is law of attraction's response to your point of attraction.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter how you got to the vibration that you're offering. It is, and law of attraction is responding to it. So if you're thinking, and some of the questions that you were asking just now are about what's going on right now and your awareness of them. And we want to say deliberate creation happens best in advance. In other words, we want you to prepare your grid in advance. We want you to deliberately chill in advance. We want you to deliberately meditate in advance. We want you to deliberately make lists of positive aspects. We want you to deliberately go general. We want you to take those moments where you can get off the road, so to speak. We don't want you doing your most deliberate thinking when you're going 135 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour speed zone. In other words, but when you are lying in your bed, we've called it pre-paving for a very long time. So think in terms of doing your creating in your mind under the conditions that are the most conducive to ease and positive expectations. And then spend the rest of your time reveling in the universe's ability to deliver it to you. So if you're pre-paving in advance, and then you're letting the majority of your time as things are unfolding be time that you're noting, oh, look how well this is going, look how well this is going, look how well this is going, it will all come together in a really perfect way. Friends, life is supposed to be fun. And you're not ever going to get it done. And you can't get it wrong. And if you will begin to embrace those contrasting moments as part of the path along your trail to the things that you are really wanting, then life will be sweet, 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 sweet for you the majority of the time. And when it's a little sour, it's still on track. That's really what we want you to hear from us. Be easy about it and meditate if you feel like it. But most of all, make a decision that nothing is more important than that you feel good, and pay attention to the way you feel. And when you feel less than wonderful, do anything and everything you can think of doing, which usually just means change the pace from whatever. So if you're in the middle of a conversation that is taking you down, smile and end it. If you are sitting in your body and it is tired and stiff, get up and move around. In other words, don't allow yourself to continue in the direction of what does not feel good. Use your guidance system in the way it is intended and shift directions. And so in the same way that if you've been sitting too long, you want to get up and stretch, sometimes you are involved in a thought that is not serving you, and you would be well to change the direction of the thought. That's where this going general will serve you. We would rather see you having a wonderful walk outside than meditating, because both are conducive to alignment. We would rather see you happy about something or appreciating something than meditating, because whether you're meditating or appreciating, there's still no resistance. So just move around in the knowledge that you've found and see what fits this moment and what fits this moment. Sometimes in a conversation, listening's the best thing. Sometimes in a conversation, saying something is better. In other words, there's no right or wrong. Just do your best to apply as much that you know as best you can. And most of all, don't beat up on yourself, because there's a sort of recurring theme in this conversation that goes something like, I should be doing better than I am. And that is what's slowing things down more than anything and making meditation feel like a chore. Also, we don't want you to meditate to fix something that's broken. We want you to meditate because it feels good to release resistance. When you have the benefit of finding a piece of music that you like, even though it's usually only 3 minutes long, or finding a book that you're feeling particular resonance with, or you have a new one that you are in love with that you are holding as your object of attention, when you have moments in time where you can focus for periods of time where no resistance enters into the arena for a specific period of time, 17 seconds gets it going, another 17 seconds really adds to it. And when you are able to sustain 68 seconds without resistance entering into the equation, you have moved your vibration significantly. And that's what's happened to several of you on several occasions here today. We talked about the deepest of subjects. We talked about things that matter to you the most. And in all of that, you shifted your vibration significantly. So what that means is, over the next few days, if we were standing in your physical shoes, since we are standing in your physical shoes, it is our intention to watch for evidence of the new alignment that you've practiced in these hours that we have been together. That evidence is going to thrill you. It's also going to buoy you. When you see it, when you come across it, consciously acknowledge it and make the correlation in your own being. This is as a direct result of my holding myself in vibrational alignment. And I can do that relative to everything. Sometimes people aren't so eager to express their appreciation for contrast, but it's only always because they haven't figured out how to focus, or they haven't figured out what the criteria for focusing is. If there's just a lot of variety and you're just giving all of your attention, or wanted and unwanted your attention, then you've got a sort of sloppy focus going on, which means you've got a sort of sloppy point of attraction going on. And when you are not focused deliberately, or when you're creating by default, then you get some of what you want and some of what you don't want. And there's no real downside to that, because in that process you get more and more clear about what you do want. But if the clarity about what you do want is coming on stronger and stronger, but your ability to focus on what you want is not becoming more practiced, then you just get a bigger life, but it's not a comfortable life. It gets bigger. There's a lot more variety. You can parlay your life into really wonderful things. We've been saying to you for a while, when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, and there's a bounce in that, because when you know what you don't want, a rocket of desire shoots out of you. And so knowing what you do want is predicated in part upon knowing about what you don't want. We just don't want you to make a life career out of knowing what you don't want. We want you to get more oriented toward knowing what you do want and speaking more about what you do want, and therefore practicing more of the vibration of what you do want, and therefore holding a more consistent vibrational point of attraction about what you do want, and therefore setting a vibrational grid that aligns with the core grid. We'll talk about grids all through this day, because we want you to begin to consciously acknowledge your point of attraction. And here's the best way to hear that. That would be like falling out of the sky or falling off the roof and asking, what thoughts should I be thinking while I'm falling?
Yeah.
And we mean that relative to all creation. We're not just talking about creation where there might be an abrupt ending. We're talking about all creation. There is this momentum during which contemplating the specifics of what you're doing are not necessary, because the momentum is already taking care of that. You get what we're talking about? We want you to stop struggling in your creation in the momentum. In other words, let the momentum happen and then reevaluate. Mm-hmm. And if you will do more creating in advance, if we were standing in your physical shoes, this is the way we would play it out. When we go to bed at night, we would bask in the deliciousness of the bed, and we would lie in appreciation of everything that we could find to appreciate about. We would bring ourselves into alignment through appreciation, through deliberate focus. And if we couldn't find it there, we would go general enough until we find it. And we would intend to sleep well. And we would put forth the suggestion, which is a pre-paving, that when we awaken in the morning, we will feel refreshed, and that tomorrow will be a day where much inspiration of things from the vortex will flow. And then when we awaken in the morning, the first thing that we would say is, I'm happy to be awake and aware in this physical body. And I'm looking forward to witnessing the evidence of my alignment. I know there is already momentum in motion on a lot of things. And the momentum, no matter what it is going to serve me, because it's going to help me to direct my intentions. There's going to be contrast that's going to help me decide more clearly. So this is going to be a day that's going to be the grid filling in with things wanted and unwanted, and I embrace all of that because I accept all of it as motion forward. I accept all of it is why I'm here. And this is going to be a really fun day. So now you've set the potential resistance sort of at bay just a little bit, because you have, in general terms, not specific terms, in general terms said that you embrace and welcome all of it, because you accept all of it as valuable for you, you see. We told Esther as the day was beginning that it would be her favorite day ever. And when she listens back to this, she's going to discover why. Our favorite thing in a day like this is your willingness to come and play with us. Sitting here in the room, many of you are watching live around the world, but you are participating here with not only us, but with your own inner being. And it is satisfying to us that we are able to offer some general words about the laws of the universe as we know them to be. And that by your willingness to be here, your willingness to play with us, your willingness to focus, that we are able together collectively to let go of those corks of resistance, and your vibration raises. And what that means, especially in a day like this, is that when we move into some new places where we are not commonly treading, when we are finding some new ways of looking at things that you are not accustomed to looking at from your point of view, that because you have been willing to listen and because your vibration has raised, you're in a new place of clarity where it is meaningful to you. And the reason that we like that so much is because that means you've spent some time. We've been together for about 3 hours. And during a significant part of those hours, you have been in a state of alignment with the broader part of who you are. And what that means is you've practiced without meaning to a higher frequency vibration. And that practice is really all that is required in deliberate creation and in allowing what you want. We have enjoyed this interaction a lot. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain in your vortex. Yeah. Good guy. Good guy. Right. Right. Yes.